Y'all know what it is. Oh shit! I told y'all. I told y'all needed that. No. Like somebody
laced that Snickers.
Oh, let's see here. I'm gonna go mow the grass next. Yeah, y'all know what's up. Y'all know what time it is. It is considered to be right now one of the biggest movies of the year. Only after 3 days, it has become, I believe, the 12th biggest release of this year.
17th. Oh, maybe that's
maybe moved up. Yeah, for December, and they're saying as far as a December opening of its type, it's already breaking records. Of course, we are talking about Rogue One, a Star Wars story.
When was the last time you were in contact with your father?
What is this?
It appears he is critical to the development of a super weapon.
Now, stop it right there, because most people have seen this already. Otherwise, it wouldn't be setting those records that it did this weekend. If you're just tuning in, I keep warning you, but I'm going to tell you one more time so you don't get mad. Spoiler talk. Everybody in this room has seen it. And if they haven't seen it, they've left. And we're going to bring in some other people to talk about the film if they want to. We got one guy back there. Let me put him in focus. He actually worked on the movie back there. Troy. No, not you, no. We got Canardo. They're like, yeah, I was young Lando. You didn't see me? But this is, if you heard our review, you already know that I was crazy about this movie, man. This movie, I thought that in order to just repeat it, if you want to say what the best Star Wars movies are, Empire Strikes Back, A New Hope, and then I strongly think that this is third. And the reason why I think that it worked is because I really do think people, it's trendy to say dark now. Dark, gritty. And people, repeating the whole thing. Martin even said they put the war back in Star Wars.
Sure. Well, it's easy to be dark and gritty when your other movies have Muppets in them.
Yeah, exactly. And that's why I keep telling people, those goddamn Ewoks and one of them, Salacious Crumb is a straight up hand puppet.
He's right there. Don't talk about
that. And where's my other hand right now?
I usually sit on the couch with Porno Chris.
Yeah.
Over here.
I brought you Domino's today. But damn, y'all thought you were joking. But this pulled all that back. Now I'm glad you used the word, man. It pulled all of it back. We don't see so many of the cute creatures, of all the gimmicky puppets in here, of all this gimmicky CG. This is what the people are saying is truly a war film. And just not to rehash everything that has all been said before, I think that there's things in here that Disney just did but didn't show you that makes this even more of a tragic movie, which to me makes it more of a bold movie. And I'm so glad it's successful because of the grittiness of it that's not even spoken of in the movie, and it has still maintained its good faith with the fans. That's still going to be a movie that's going to go on to make Disney do some more risky ventures with this, some more challenging things, some things that Lucas, I believe, would never do. But right now, we got people here who have not seen the movie. I'm sorry, they did not see the movie at the time we reviewed it, but they've seen it now. And I'm just going to go out and say it right now. You know what? Here's how it works. And let me just say, here's how the shit works.
Preemptive strike.
Yeah, and I'm doing this, so I just brace myself.
All right.
Oh, no.
Martin, he agrees with me, so you're good. But Corey Goodwin's the kind of dude when you build something up for him, he's going to be the guy to come back and be like, it was all right. I'm just going to call it right now. That's his Salacious Crumb right there. He going to do whatever he said. See? Don't even play like that, man. I'm not in the mood.
A Salacious Crumb off.
Yeah. You win.
I'm a pro.
He's natural.
Yeah. Don't try.
He is the crumb. And you, man, I've defended you for so long, and I can't do it anymore.
I don't think you've defended me
for so long. He calls you new today.
Yeah. New?
New.
Got this new guy coming.
Because you're still fresh with me, man.
But been here longer than you.
Yeah.
But here's the thing, man.
Yeah.
I can't do it anymore because Because what you do is
You broke him.
no, but you do it every time. You wait for people to see or to say what their reaction is to a movie, and you come out. If 95% of people enjoy something, you don't like it. If it's the opposite way, you the opposite way. And you even came in the other day, and let me tell you what you did, because that's why I was fucking with you. Because he came in the other day and was just he hadn't even seen the movie and sat down. It's like, so how was Rogue One? And he didn't like it wasn't sincere. Like, I'm curiously, I'm sincerely curious. I really want to know. Sincerely, I really want to know. Now you like
just don't talk like that.
It was like, how was Rogue One? And I was like, I just answered to see what your reaction would be. I said, man, it wasn't that great. And you're like, I knew it. I thought so.
Him and Porno Chris actively root against movies.
Yeah, they do.
Revealed.
They do. So whoever wants to go, I'll start with you, Corey. How'd you like the
with me.
movie, man?
It's another Star Wars movie, man, and this made me come to the realization about I'm just not a Star Wars person. Going into this, it's something it's done beautifully, and there are aspects of this movie that I really like. I love that they made it feel like the old movies in the 70s and 80s, but it still had an update look to it. I love the humor in it. I thought them actually tying it into right before A New Hope. I thought that was really great. That came out of nowhere. I mean, well, not out of nowhere, but I'm glad that they put those certain.
It just
spots
seemed
in
like
there.
it was about to end, and suddenly they stitched it together.
Yeah, so I was like, all right, that's pretty cool. Like I said, I love the way it looks and everything technically about it. And I didn't see it in 3D. Sorry, Troy. It's great. But I still feel like I'm being sold the same package when it comes to Star Wars movies. The other thing I did like it was darker. But I still feel like I'm being sold the same Star Wars premise, which is a parentless child goes out and is the one hope for this big rebellion or this big group, and then they end up losing that father figure or that uncle figure, and then they win at the end, even in this one, even though she died. So it was like, all right.
Wow, I almost yelled spoiler, man.
Well, no, I was thinking outside, like, can I say it? Like, wait a second, we're in spoiler talk now.
Yeah.
So,
Sorry.
I understand why people like it, but at the end of this movie, as with all the Star Wars films, I came out of it feeling nothing. Like, I'm not hyped for the next one. I'm not sad about the loss of life here in this movie. I'm not invested in this world like certain fans are. So, like, I would never say, like, this is a bad film. It's not. It's a beautiful looking movie. The action scenes, especially that last the war at the end, was great. But it's just not a movie. It's not. It doesn't make me feel anything. So like,
That is so honest.
yeah. So with that, like, for me, it would be a matinee. Like
Okay.
it's a decent.
Okay, go and give you matinee, girl.
So it's my turn now?
Yes.
Well, it might shock you. I really like this movie. I like it a whole lot.
Good man.
I think it does a lot of things that are that feel new, but at the same time familiar in a good way, because it takes place literally like 4 days before A New Hope.
Yeah.
So you kind of have to make it feel like A New Hope. And the one thing about it that keeps me from liking it as much as The Force Awakens, and I know you're going to get mad at me for this. I know you brought this up with Martin. Is the characters in this. I don't dislike them, and I think all the actors are doing a pretty good job, but there's not really any time given to them for us to see them really as people. And I think that's partly due to the story. It's war times. We don't have time to sit around and talk. We need to get this shit done.
Yeah.
But I feel like in a situation like that, it could have benefited. And you mentioned this last night, and the more I think about it, the more I do agree with you. There might have been too many characters in this. They might have benefited from cutting one or two of them.
Well, that's something that I actually said in my
Yeah.
review to Martin. I said it moves fast, and none of these people really have the camaraderie
Right.
of Force Awakens or something like The Dirty Dozen, a Man on a Mission movie. Those things really depend on people bonding with each other, and they didn't really have time to do that here. So I agree with you on that.
Yeah, it's no Suicide Squad.
No, it is not.
And when the characters do eat it, when they do get wiped out, and I like that they did that, I felt it in as much as, oh, that's a sucky way to go, but I wasn't like, oh no, not that guy who I can't remember his name. It was more of just the manner in which they were wiped out,
Yeah.
as opposed to I was sad to see a character I liked go.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's what it was for me. It's like, there's not a lot of character there, so it wasn't like I got to know them.
Right.
But the way they died, most of the time it was through some sacrifice or it was heroic in a way. I was like,
Yeah.
oh man, that sucks.
What about you, Will Valley?
Gosh, you gonna start the Imperial March again?
You don't have that cued because
Yeah.
you
No.
totally should.
I know.
No, I think this was the greatest Star Wars movie ever made. And I think that the first 2 hours, although they were really boring, completely justify.
Oh wait, you don't be joking around. Now.
At
It's
the
not the
end,
time.
there's a lightsaber battle with Darth Vader, and it's really cool. And it kind of is the best part of the whole movie. Even though I fell asleep during the movie for 2 hours, it was worth it to get to it by the end. And there was no real original
Okay,
stuff, but that's fine because they just took all the stuff from the other
Can't
movies
you
and
just
put it in
get?
there.
You know? Can't you just
The
get something
asterisk.
straight?
Yeah,
He wants
Wait, why'd you have him up here if it wasn't to fuck around?
because I thought for once I thought you were gonna just give an honest, straight answer.
This movie sucked.
Whoa.
This movie sucked. This movie is not only probably the worst Star Wars movie, it might be one of the worst movies of the year. And the reason is for honestly all the reasons I just gave you. It just collects all the other shit you've seen from other movies, it puts it in a blender, it hits mince, and it tries to regurgitate shit I've already seen. I don't care about any of these characters. They all die at the end. It's a shitty space version of Inglourious Bastards. And, you know, by the end of the movie, you know, you have this scene that has no justification for anything. If you are going into this movie, you don't know who Darth Vader is, so the fact that he's in it doesn't mean anything. He completely contradicts the next scene in A New Hope by going, you know, balls to the wall with his lightsaber, when we know in the very next scene when he's in the blockade runner, he has all the other stormtroopers shooting for him. So it changes who his character is. And it's just boring. That was my main problem with it. Everything was predictable, and I didn't feel like there was a whole lot of new original stuff.
But
in this movie.
he liked Batman versus Superman.
Yeah.
Okay, but compared to the Force Awakens that you hated, also.
I actually liked Force Awakens more than this.
I agree with him there.
Yeah, I couldn't hate on anybody for liking Force Awakens more than that.
I'm not even hating on that. I'm hating just on hating. Period.
That's a fair reason to hate.
You know, let me go through some things now. Where I can explain why why I love this movie so much.
Almost better than sex.
Almost.
Yeah.
What? I should have
Almost.
watched that review.
Almost. Because you were ready. You were ready. I ain't gonna even. You know. I ain't gonna
It's
even.
fine. I'm still ready. Bring it.
No, here's the thing. This is why I think that this movie is deeper than what people give it credit for, and why I will let it slide for things such as not having the characterization that we see as far as having the camaraderie between the people, because between this the actual group that goes and dies at the end. I think that there's something beautiful about Disney doing a movie about a tragic figure. And because it's depressing when you leave and you think about this movie when you leave, and you really think about how these characters are, and for a Disney film to give you such a tragic story with characters, Jen Erso, played by Felicity Jones, in the movie, if you think about it, she never had a good life.
No.
Her parents died. One died in front of her. She caught up with the other one after a long time. He died right there. She was out on the streets. She was probably selling ass. I don't know. You know, she was raised in the streets. The one person that did raise her abandoned her, which was Saw Gerrera. And she's, when the movie opens up, she's on her way to jail.
Yeah.
She has never had happiness in her life. And if she had, we never saw it. We never knew what it was. And if she did, it's hinted that it was rare. And if she dies only doing one thing, and that is sacrificing herself for rebellion that she doesn't even know about that much, that pretty much coerced her into doing it. It's a really tragic story if you think about it. You know, it's probably, I would say it's even more tragic than, they gave us 3 movies where they tried to sell us the tragedy of Darth Vader. I think this one film right here showed the tragedy of a character without having to beat us over the head with that tragedy, by making it very subtle and having us actually reflect on it. I think that's an amazing thing right there.
I feel like it was a lot of exposition though. Like when we got the part where her mother died in front of her, and then she saw her father die in front of her, and saw Guerrero die in front of her, or near her at the time.
Yeah.
But it was like, after this, I was with you until I was 16, and then you abandoned me. And I feel like maybe if we would have had less characters and a little bit more development with her, you would have felt a little bit felt more for her when it came to this situation, because a lot of it was just saying, yeah, this happened, let's keep moving. And I understand it's a war movie. It can't take a lot of time to develop the characters, but that's something that's missing.
It had to move. It had to move quickly. I have to sometimes give a movie credit. Like, all right, did I get enough character? I mean, I don't want. That's the problem we had with some of the other movies. There was way too much exposition.
I understand that, but then you'll get. I mean, if you want to compare this to other like war movies, like you get a Saving Private Ryan. You don't know how these people live their lives, and when you lose some of them, you feel it. Like when you lose Vin Diesel and all these other people, you're like, wow, that guy was going to do this and going to do that. So you feel it. Like when you leave the theater, man, that sucked.
I think you feel it just by virtue of that being set in a realistic setting. I think it's easy to kind of just pull away from this still because it is set in space. And you call this Inglourious Bastards?
I mean, it starts out with a girl who watches, she runs away from some type of dude who's hunting them down. And then, it cuts to her years later, and she's, getting together with this ragtag group of people who want to take down the Nazis of the Empire. And then it ends with her, dying and being embraced.
That could be anything, man. That could be anything.
Yeah. You know what it's like? Inglourious Bastards.
That Inglourious Bastards was a mix mash of a lot of things like that. I ain't gonna get caught up in this.
Why you doing this?
I know. Why am I doing this to myself? I know.
Well,
it's broad strokes, but it's a story that I've seen before. And I feel when you want to make a Star Wars movie, and you saw it with Force Awakens, they're just taking shit that we've already seen before. This is a chance to tell something I haven't seen before.
Force Awakens was fan service. This is not trying to do that. Force Awakens
was a lot of fan service.
No,
it was not fan service.
No, not as much as Force Awakens was.
Corey.
No.
Corey, there was a. This is
I do
Corey,
not.
Come on, man. Like as somebody that is not a fan of Star Wars. I tried, and this is what I meant by when I posted that thing on Facebook saying I'm done trying to be a Star Wars a fan of these films. Is because I put in the work to go try to enjoy this franchise. I've seen the movies. I've seen the movies. I've read the books. I've played the video games. I've read the comics, and I'm like, wow, I know what's going on. So when I see those two guys from Mos Eisley pop up, I'm like, oh, I know who that is. It's just like, all right, I get that, but it's just like I don't feel a connection to this.
I would say this
is a lot of fans
because that's why that's one of the things that I didn't like with the movie. They do some fan service stuff. We all saw some of the cameos in here.
R2D2 and C3PO.
Well, right here, what's his name? Dr. Evasion and Pon Baba, whatever it is.
Yeah.
The guys that I have the destinies on 12 systems. That the guy that was picking on Luke Skywalker at the Mos Eisley Cantina. I'm not crazy about that. That's one of the things I say that they need to keep. It's a galaxy. These characters need to stop running into each other. And I wasn't crazy about that cameo right there. I'm not even crazy about that character anymore because he was just a thug at a cantina hanging out with his boy.
Right.
And all of a sudden, the fans gave him a backstory because his face was messed up. All of a sudden, he's a surgeon that, messed up people's faces.
Really?
And shit. No, I'm not lying. That's why his name is Dr. Evasion right now. Yeah. These are the fans that have done this.
Then he went to a bar after a long day of surgery.
Well, no,
to hang out with scum.
Well, no, this is after he was known for ruining people's faces when he went mad, and then
Dr. Mengele
and then a bounty hunter came in and ruined his face, and that's why he's on the run right now and hanging out with. And that's why
he's doing back alley abortions.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Might as well.
And face changes for the mob.
This shit right there. Those fans have changed this. So I know where to draw the line. I felt like that wasn't that great, and I'm gonna forgive. I'll forgive R2D2 and C3PO. I said I don't want to see him in there.
But they were on for a blip.
But they were on for a blip, and plus we see how the important role they play. They have to be in the vicinity.
Yeah. I was mad when that blip happened. I was like, well, thankfully it was just so quick. But the way the movie plays by the end, you go like, okay, there actually was a reason for them to be around.
Yeah. And I don't, and I think that looking at that, I can see why that cameo is there. But you're right. But Force Awakens, this is not constructed like Force Awakens. Force Awakens is Episode 4.
Right.
It's beat by beat, almost the same thing. This is not.
Well, no, I'll give you that, but I'm saying to say that this isn't. There's no fan service comparably to The Force Awakens. I think there is, man. There's a lot of characters that show up in here, and a lot of they went as far as to get somebody that looks just like Mothma. You know what I'm saying her name?
Yeah, Mon Mothma. But again, she plays a role in that.
I understand that, Corey. But what I'm saying is there's a lot of stuff in here where it's like, all right, I understand you play a role, you should be here, but if they're gonna go this dark and gritty route, you legit did not need to show R2D2 and C3PO.
You didn't need to show them.
You're making a darker film. film. But then the Muppets, it's not as bad as an Ewok showing up, but they are pulling really close to it because it was I feel like it was excessive. It wasn't necessary. If that scene was not in the movie, would you have missed it?
Which one?
R2D2 and C3PO.
I just told you that I wasn't crazy about that. I just told you that that's something that I thought that they need to pull back on. But again, you're talking about characters that play a role in that story that's following up.
You can't call it fan service when it leads into the next movie. But it's certainly peppered with moments, little blips of fan service, unlike The Force Awakens, which was fan service conceptually on a grand scale.
Yeah, that's a movie that was playing it way safe and just said, all right, we're going to step our toes out there and not stray too far away from Star Wars. In fact, we're just going to remake Star Wars with a different cast of characters, and this is not doing that. I mean, we're not going to agree on that, but that's just how I see it.
I think that's what sets The Force Awakens apart is that cast of characters. Those characters, to me, they felt pretty different than anything we've seen in Star Wars. Like Rey is kind of the inverse of Luke in that she doesn't want anything to do with the Force. As soon as she hears about it and is freaked the fuck out by it, she spends the rest of the movie running away from it, as opposed to Luke, who's frankly more of a wuss,
but ends up being Luke at some point.
Ends up being Luke, yeah. So, and I don't know, like, yeah, it's hard for me to. There's a lot of fan service in this. I'm not bothered by that. I mean, but you're making a movie where we already know how it ends.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, that's fan service.
No,
Yeah,
I don't
no,
know.
it is,
I don't think that's fan service. That's actually telling a story, a bigger story. And not only is it telling a bigger story, but it's going in there and actually Disney said, look, we got it. We're addressing flaws in this. One of the biggest jokes with the Death Star is that you mean they built a fucking Death Star that has one little button. If you press it, it's going to blow up. And Disney's like, we got you on that. We're going to make a whole movie explaining it. This could not be so different in tone from The Force Awakens, from any other film out there except for maybe Empire Strikes Back. And they do things that, again, going on a grittier scale here, I like that they actually insinuated just how evil the Empire was and just how they, things were. Everything was at risk in this movie, and even the most innocent didn't escape. Nobody thought about it, but you remember that little girl that Jen saved, that little crying girl when they bombed the square, the little Asian girl.
Oh, yeah.
That girl dead.
Yeah.
They blew that city up. They're not going to address it, but it's kind of like we showed you a child, and that child is gone. I don't think that they really would have done that with any other Star Wars movies.
Didn't they do that with Alderaan?
But you didn't see any people from Alderaan.
Yeah, when in the New Hope, when the Alderaan blows up, you're kind of like, oh, well, okay,
You don't feel much, yeah.
That's gone. But
I-
here it meant something.
I didn't feel much when they blew up that city, though. I mean, because you don't know anyone in that city.
Look,
You see them.
I'm not crying at
Yeah.
certain things in the movie. I'm just saying that I think that they've taken some risk and done some things that you would not have seen. People didn't expect Disney to do, and Disney probably at one time wouldn't have done. But now they know that with this property that when you talk about fan service, I mean, I think Force Awakens was that, and I give them that. But as far as this movie goes right here, I think this is the one where they're saying, look, you approved, you already like our direction, and now we're going to give the true fans out there what they want. We know we got to go the opposite of those CG spectacles that we had in the prequels. I think they're actually playing to the fans who don't want to see kid stuff right now. I like and look, don't think that I don't want to see something that is kind of. I like to see it be like Marvel. Maybe you have something that is more family friendly, like Ant-Man, and then you get something like this that's a little darker. Like, I don't know, maybe some of their Netflix shows. I don't know. I'm just stretch right there. But, that's all I'm saying.
Do you not feel like they're repeating archetypes, though?
In what sense?
Like, what's the Diego Luna's character?
Cassian, yeah.
Cassian Andor.
Yeah.
Like, he's a Han Solo-esque character. Like, come on, man.
No.
Yes, he is. Like, they
have completely different motivations.
The motivations might be different, but they're very similar.
Character traits.
They have very similar character traits. They're they need to get the job done, and they'll do it by any means necessary. Their main weapons are blasters. They even to the point where
blasters are a major weapon.
That's most of the cast.
Yeah, I understand that, but just hear me out. I'll throw that in there. He's the pilot of a ship. Like, so I feel like they're doing stuff. No, I'm saying
there's so many pilots in this movie.
I understand understand that, man. I legit do, but I feel like
Even he's like, seriously, man.
I understand, and you can't tell me you don't see any kind of Han Solo in him.
No, because Han Solo is charismatic from the beginning. He's always smirking. He's trying to do things on the cheap, and he's not involved in this war. He's like, I'm just out here to make money.
Yeah.
Diego Luna's character is all about the war. He's not somebody you go like, oh, this guy's so funny. I like hanging out with him. Matter of fact, from his first scene, you're like, wow, this dude, what a prick.
No.
I don't know about this guy.
Same thing with Han Solo.
No. Greedo was going to kill Han Solo. And
Greedo was sweating him.
And Martin took the words exactly out of my mouth. We always, with a spin on words right here, Han Solo was seen as a rogue. So Han Solo was seen as that guy who is charismatic. I'm gonna pull him up.
Rogue One.
No, I said I already doing a play on words right here. I already know what I'm doing. But I'm gonna bring up a picture of Han Solo right here while we're talking about him.
Really?
Yeah.
And Han Solo, man. Han Solo was a character that was fun, a character that we always knew could get out of any scrap because he's he knows his shit. He knows the streets. He knows the galaxy. He's savvy. He was violent, but only when he had to be, and only when somebody threatened him.
Yeah, out of all the characters in Star Wars, he's the one that most guys want to be.
Yeah, but now you get into
You don't want to be Luke?
Exactly.
No, nobody want to be Luke making power converters.
Fall in love with your sister.
She was hot though.
But Diego Luna and she was. That's even a part in the movie. They didn't even take it out. He yelled, "Carrie!" You remember that? Like instead of yelling out Princess Leia, in the original, they just released it with that.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I think they cleaned up later, but if you watch the original, he yells out Carrie Fisher. But but Diego Luna's character right here, man. One of the things I talked about with Martin with this is that another tragic figure. These are people who have not had any happiness in their life. He tells her, ever since I was 6 years old,
he's a war baby.
I've been fighting this, and that's why he's. If you again, they don't hit you over the head with it. He's got PTSD, man.
You'll be like the Joker, just making shit up.
I've
I've been out here by myself for 6 years. I've been a war orphan. Like, really? We don't know because you're just telling us this shit.
No, man, he's telling the truth.
We've seen him murder people. You think he's above lying?
No, but that's the thing about it. He is so conditioned to killing that he's had to cut himself off. He's had to be emotionally cut off from the world. He even says at the end, he's like, the only reason why we're doing this, it's almost, and again, a lot of people are not going to give this movie credit for what it deserves, but a lot of these people are so tired of fighting this, and they're rebels, and they want to actually see the rebellion win.
Of course.
But they're so tired of fighting. He's so tired of fighting. He says, I've done things and seen things, and I don't even want to think about them anymore. These people want to die.
Okay.
And for a movie like this, a Star Wars movie, I think that's pretty fucking deep, man.
Okay.
You can see him being war torn. The only time he looks in her eyes at the end of the movie when they go out in a flash of light, he's like, it's almost like, you know what? I'm not even getting no ass out of this. I was about to look.
That's the last thing. Shit.
But no, he looks at her and it's just kind of like shit. You know what? Even the one time I was able to find some love in my life, it's only for a fleeting moment.
Why
man.
didn't he kiss her? What do you think he was going to get rejected?
I was really happy that they did not do that.
Yeah, me too.
I was like, why? You just met this girl.
Yeah, I think that's.
But you're going to blow up. At least try.
No, that's sexual assault.
Oh, yeah. we gonna die. You want to fuck?
Well, I mean, what's the
Can you
worst that could
imagine the
happen?
last moment of your life is you try to kiss a girl and she does this?
Yeah,
Then that's
oh, come on. Yeah, well, you gonna grab some pussy before you go out. You know what I'm saying? It's
I
like.
don't know. Make the empire great again.
Okay, I cease that argument. You made a good point about Diego Luna and Han Solo.
No, you know what? Look, I'm being completely fair here because there's certain things that they do here that I'm thinking, something, I wasn't crazy about that. One of the things is, me, I'll talk about a score. I talk about scores all the time and music and movies and how I love it. And I think the score is pretty good with this. I think that I would have rather had them, like, for the opening score when we first see the title for Rogue One, I would have rather they had not actually tried to incorporate the original theme. I'm looking, this score is by Michael Giacchino. Yeah, it's not John Williams. But they try to incorporate a little bit of John Williams' score. You can go on Spotify, and it's actually kind of cool on Spotify if you go listen to the score because they've actually made the player a lightsaber down there. But But when
That's not fan service.
look, hey, look, that's Spotify, man. You know,
You don't have a deal with
that ain't the
somebody?
movie. That ain't in the movie. Man, you gotta stop with this
shit for free, Coleman.
Man, you gotta stop with this fan service shit. Let shit go.
You think Spotify did that shit for free?
No, they did not. But it's not in the movie, man.
I give Spotify a rental.
Yeah, it ain't the movie. You know,
Dude, you were letting them work you.
I mean, I'm mad about this.
I even like the movie, man.
Fuck you.
I agree with you probably like on 90% of the thing.
Then show it. Get your hands off me, goddammit.
You know, in Cloud City enjoying this shit. And I'm chilling and tattooing like, it's all right.
Yeah,
And he on that lava planet.
Picking on farm. Yeah, you picking on farm boys and shit with your pet walrus and everything, you know.
Nerf herders.
But they try to incorporate John Williams' score, and it sounds like those commercials where they try to make a famous song and they just only can play a few bars until they get sued. But they try to work in the original theme, and it don't sound good.
It just cuts.
We have a galaxy of used cars here.
It sounds like the orchestra is just walking through mud as they're playing.
It's a good score. It's just when they try to either go with you got the property, either go with the theme or don't. Is what I'm
If they'd
thinking.
done it, you'd be like, man, I just can't believe they're using that same score.
It's fan service. It's
Fan service, yeah.
You're damned if you do, damned if you don't.
It's like this movie for you.
Well, the prequels have all new music and all new stories.
The music is the only good thing about the prequels.
Oh yeah, the music. Yeah.
The music is the only thing I like about the prequels at all.
And I tell you, man, I look at some of the characters they brought in, and I don't like that they always try to like relate this because it's just me. And I tell you, this is me I'm being a dick right now. I don't.
Why you laugh, Sammy?
No,
I'm trying to figure out what the change is.
because I tell you, I don't like. I hate the prequel so much, and people come. I'm getting hated for it now.
Okay.
Yeah, no, the prequels. Let me just say this real quick, and I will leave it alone because I always say it, and I will. I'm gonna get every time you might as well get used to it right now. Every time a Star Wars movie comes out, just like a cameo with C-3PO and R2-D2, you're gonna hear me talk shit about the prequels, even if it's just for a second. Fuck those prequels. They're not only. I keep saying it. They're not only just bad Star Wars movies, but they're bad movies. I would say this if they belonged in any other property. They're badly made films, and so it's hard for me to get into any other spinoff or anything that evolves from those prequels. And I hear Rebels is great.
It's not.
Oh, but thank you.
I watched like 3 episodes of it. It's okay, but I haven't got a chance to keep going with it.
What's your deal with let me just say this, and I'll let you say this about the prequels.
Okay.
Because one of the things that they've done is I don't watch Rebels, Star Wars Rebels. So they have characters in there that are that come from the show. Actually, it might even been not even from the show. It might have been from
Clone Wars.
Clone
Yeah,
Wars.
they
No,
kind of
there's a
transferred
couple
over.
from Rebels too.
Then there are, yeah.
Like Saw Gerrera, Forrest Whitaker's character. I liked his character actually a little more when I saw him in the movie the second time. I thought he was kind of cool. A little bit of overacting. Go.
Sounds like this.
The bad thing is one has been known to lose its mind. But did you come to kill me?
That one eye, man.
But that eye be acting. But I liked his character better, but I didn't know that his character until I got out of the movie that character came from Clone Wars, the animated Clone Wars. And the thing about it is that you hear us up here doing the impressions, well, talking like this, with like British people with asthma, but in the Clone Wars, he's not like that. I know this is before he had his mechanical body. He was worn down.
Body blown away.
Had his body blown away, and he's younger. But the two characters don't seem the same.
We have a duty to protect what's ours, General. A duty once entrusted to you.
He has different color eyes.
Thought you depleted your arrogance with Kalani.
It replenishes every hour.
They don't even have the same color eyes. Yeah, it's the same character.
It's hard to find a black guy with blue eyes. So,
yeah, yeah. He's. Yeah. One with what's that one with a lazy one? One with a lazy pretty eye.
They could have got Terrence Howard.
Yeah, they could have got Terrence Howard to play Kennard. Yeah, this dude, he got one cornrow in his head. You know, that dude is that dude is this dude
man,
right here.
You come to kill me.
You come to kill me, baby.
It's not. I wasn't crazy to know that that's connected, and I wish they had left the characters different because they don't even look the same. But and honestly, I wasn't. That's one character I would tell you about where, for being such a critical part of their mission, I could have done without him in the film.
Star Wars fans are the fucking worst. I swear to God, man.
What'd I do?
Like, it's the shit where it's just like, it's something where you be like, no, I forgive this. But man, I don't like that.
That part doesn't make sense.
What the hell? Like that, and even when I posted this shit on Facebook today, Star Wars fans attacked. If I would have said this shit about Star Trek, nothing. Him about we got into an argument last night about Senator Organa. I was like, he was necessary. He needed to be there. No, he reminds me of the prequels.
Yeah.
He don't need to be there.
I have a point about that. So he ages about it looks like 10 years. But Obi-Wan Kenobi, right? He's aged at least 30. He's fucking ancient
You
at this
can't
point.
do the time with
Yeah.
these
Yeah,
things.
they operate in
This movie takes place an hour before A New Hope, though.
You can't
All
do
the
time.
more reason to not have Jimmy Smits in it.
Yeah, well, I mean, yeah.
Get him the fuck out of here.
I didn't like that either. Jimmy Smith being in the movie.
necessary. He's
I
as
told you.
necessary as Mothma.
90%, I'm telling you.
He's as necessary as Mothma is. He's the one that helped him and her team together to start.
I know.
Alliance.
I know.
And then Mothma ages like 20 years by the next episode.
Look, Jimmy Smits, I know that he's needed in the movie, and I haven't. I even thought he was actually kind of cool in the film. I thought that he looked.
It bridges the prequels, which
it does.
is great.
It does.
What I hate about it.
And that's it. I don't like that it connects to the prequels.
I want that shit buried.
No matter
instead of
how
fired.
bad you want it, it's there. Jar Jar exists in this world. Metachlorians exist in this world.
Darth Vader shows up at the end of the last of the prequels.
I know. I'm not saying that I'm trying. Look, in my mind,
And
I
Tarkin.
wiped them out. I accept it. I'm just saying, personally, like Gertz over there, it's just a personal thing. I can excuse it. I'll leave it alone. Won't even say anything about it. But when Jimmy Smith walked up, I was like, fuck, you just married this to the prequels.
Yeah.
And I hate,
This is odd because I like these movies, but I don't consider myself a Star Wars fan because Corey brought up a very good point about what Star Wars fans says is okay and is not.
All right, what you want to say, son?
Real quick, I'm glad they finally showed.
Come here so we can hear on the mic.
Oh, it's just he's.
I'm glad they finally showed the Empire using droids because it's like they had millions of droids in the prequels and they're using all these humans to do all these things. They finally showed this aspect. I guess they have the technology to do that. Whatever. That's all I guess.
Well, they built a Death Star. I hope they can use robots.
Man, you're an asshole.
Yes. Yes.
We're not even trying to defend this up. Yes.
I learned it from you.
You're new here. He's still learning.
Yeah. You don't even know my last name, do you?
Will chooses his shots.
You do. At least you sit back and you sniper people with that shit.
You have to look for the muzzle flash.
Yeah.
Another good thing I don't think we talked about is I'm really happy that everybody died.
Yeah.
Like, one person made it away. Everybody bit the bullet in this shit.
Well, everybody had to die, man. That's why I love that. Everybody had to go because, as I said, one of the great things about the film is that they set up that these are not good people that you're talking to. These people. Oh, we're about to wrap this up. These people, either they look shady or we know that they've done some dirt, and it just seems like all of them have to go. Or they're just unhappy and they want to go. I think that's and it works because with them dying, as I said, man, it made the movie just feel that more heroic.
Well, it's so much of it's about the price that you have to pay to fight fascism. That's a lot of it. Even down to the Rebel Alliance about to break apart just because some of them are cowards, some of them are tired, and some are like, no, we have to keep going.
And really, when you get right down to it, and I'll close with this. I know there's some things that happen in this movie. There is fan service. I mean, I'm not saying that what you guys are saying are, is not valid. Even some of the characters that I like, I know, like that big mouth alien. That character's just there for Star Wars trivia at some point down the
We'll get
line.
a movie about him soon.
I hope so. I want to know what's
the Ant-Man of this universe.
Along with Doctor What the Fuck.
Oh yeah, I want to know what the fuck he's so mad about. You know,
Big Mouth and Doctor What the Fuck. A Star Wars story.
But you know, I look at, the movie overall, and the reason why I love it so much is because when I'm done with this, when I'm done watching this, and I finally go into watching, I'll go into watch A New Hope episode 4. It makes that struggle seem more real.
Yeah.
It like I get now, like when you got the Death Star right there, I feel the real threat of the Death Star now. I feel the real threat of the Empire because I know the sacrifices that were made, and it makes that struggle seem more real, and it just makes that world seem a lot more solid too. So like some of these
Hey,
people,
let me say something that I like about it. I thought
Please.
there's one. It ended. No, the one thing that I liked about it was that it was shot very well, and it's really beautiful at times the way that everything was put together. At times, I feel like I wish they would have crushed the blacks more. It looked a little bit kind of like the new Marvel movies that are coming out, where everything has this sort of monochromatic tone over it. But for the most part, I mean, it didn't look flashy the way it did in Force Awakens, where it looked a little bit more for TV. This looked like cinema. It looked more like film.
Yeah, I love that opening shot
Yeah.
right there, man. Like a Japanese samurai film once I'm about to start.
Okay, maybe I was just crazy, but did anybody else notice that tall ass stormtrooper? there was a part where they were storming the beach. It was the very end, and there's this like stormtrooper that's like 7'2", and he's walking down the beach and taking like baby steps with his blaster.
No, I didn't see
I'm
that.
gonna go watch it again.
Go
next
watch it
weekend.
again. I was cracking up laughing at that part.
Too little short for a stormtrooper.
No.
It's a small little thing.
Huh.
No, I did not see that. I did not see that at all. But that gives me an excuse to go see the movie again.
You and Gertz can go together. You both liked it.
Yeah, and you and Will can go together and just sit there and piss the audience off.
Smoke cigars.
Yeah, this sucks.
Yeah,
And I'm just like, it's okay.
yeah.
We got all the money.
Don't you put me in a boat with him.
Put your Will Crumb over here. Gamefly brings to your house, to you, over 8,000 new releases and classics that are available to rent, or you can buy them for almost every system out there, current and some old systems. Like I said, man, I've been trying to put my GameCube back to work for years. Gamefly is giving me an excuse to do that. And you could even try 30 days for free by typing in gameflyoffer.com/double toasted. And when you do that, you'll get 30 days for free of games and movies. Get all those things, all of them at once. Just stay in the house. Don't go nowhere because they're all going to get brought right to your mailbox. You can also bring the element of surprise every month to your home in the form of a Loot Crate mystery box. In that box, I can't tell you what it is, but I can guarantee you it is the best in geek and gaming gear. Some people say it's like having Comic-Con brought right to your home. You don't have to leave the house for nothing. You're getting all kind of stuff. And everybody likes a little surprise every month. Just a little bit. And here's another surprise for you. You know, if you go to our link, trylootcrate.com/double toasted, and you type in bridge 10, that's the word bridge and the number 10, you can get 10% off, a 10% discount on your first crate. How's that for a surprise right there? Loot Crate, bring the mystery and the surprise to your mailbox once a month with Loot Crate. Hey everyone, thanks for watching, and be sure to subscribe to our channel and go over to our home, doubletoasted.com, for more videos and live streams. And remember, stay toasty.